The wretched, dreaded school bus. Everyone knows what it is, knows the function and the purpose of one. But for those who don't know, a school bus is defined as a bus that transports students from home to school to home, or to school-sponsored events. So now that we have that out of the way, picture this. You wake up. It's 6 in the morning. You have 30 minutes to get up, wash your face, brush your teeth, and to get out of the house and hit the boosters like Speedy Gonzalez to the bus stop. Because everyone knows how it feels to do the dreaded walk of shame to your parents' room and wake them up because you didn't miss the bus.
Ma.
Boy, what do you want? I know you see me sleeping. I just got done working a double.
Can you take me to school? I missed the bus.
What'd you say?
I said I missed the bus.
Jamarion, LaMarcus, Quantavian, Phillips, Johnson, the second, the third. How in the world did you miss the bus?
A squirrel stepped on my brand new forces, and me and him got to throwing hands. He caught his gang of squirrels, and then after that...
Boy, I don't want to hear all of that. Next time you miss that bus, you gonna be walking to school barefoot.
But if you do end up making it on the bus, then don't plan on trying to get any extra sleep before you get to school, because it ain't happening. So you might as well remove that idea from your head ASAP. No Rocky. You step foot on the school bus and you have to come up with a decision on where you're going to sit. You sit in the back where all the degenerates and the future lifelong McDonald's employees are, then you're at a liability of getting hit in the crossfire of hornets. You got the most absolute worst trash music playing on full blast. It's about 5 seconds away from perforating your eardrums. The back of the bus is bouncing up and down like a lowrider with hydraulics because the goofy blast in the music is literally using a boombox that they have set up at a DJ's booth at a nightclub. Then you got the same hot Cheeto eating delinquent that I mentioned in my types of students in high school video. Make sure y'all check that video out, by the way. She's in the back screaming and hollering at the top of her lungs like she ain't got no type of home training. And if you're lucky enough, you might see two lovely individuals get into what I like to call a gentleman's quarrel. You got Jamal and Deshaun scrapping over the slightest and dumbest inconvenience like it ain't 6:30 in the morning. How do you even have the energy to be like this as if we didn't just wake up 30 minutes prior? The back of the bus emits and radiate the most sinister type of Black Air Force activity ever. You walk on the bus, you can smell it in the air, or that might also just be Jamal. You can sit in the front of the bus where all the NPCs reside, trying to have a full-blown conversation with the bus driver about their entire backstory. It's either that or the highly intellectually advanced adolescents trading Pokemon cards talking about last night's episode of One Piece. Or you can sit in the middle of the bus where all the normal people sit. It's not too close to the front where all the brainiacs and anime kids are, but it's not too far back where all the delinquency takes place. But even if you do find a decent enough place to sit, that doesn't necessarily mean you're in the clear because you're still on the bus. Let's not act like between the wretched chairs with the desk attached and the school bus seats, those had to be the most uncomfortable places to rest your derriere.
Oh my back!
The floors always had something on it. Whether it was a piece of gum or crumpled up piece of paper or a band-aid, there would never be a time where you catch the school bus floors completely spotless. Let's not also forget that there were no seatbelts in this vehicle, which also meant no stability at all. The school bus was basically a death trap.
I'm in danger.
Depending on how the bus driver operated the bus determined whether or not it'll be a smooth ride or you showing up to homeroom with a concussion via school bus window. I honestly don't know if these people are just responding to the bus driver needed ads on Indeed or something, but the school system has to do a better job of picking who drives the bus because they did not care about our well-being at all. And if you thought riding on the bus to school in the morning was treacherous, nah, it was about 10 times worse riding home from school in the afternoon. Not only do you have kids that are fully energetic and ready to hurry home, some of them had gym class, so that means 3/4 of the school bus smelled like expired orangutan gingivitis.
What?
And the other 1/4 already only showers once a month. Kids are riled up from everything that's transpired at school. Jamal and Deshaun are trying to resume their tables, ladders, and chairs match they had earlier, trying to see who's going to be the next intercontinental school bus champion. The hot Cheeto girl then bought 4 more bags of Cheetos in the snack line at lunch with a 20-ounce bottle of Mountain Dew. And of course, the dude who was blasting the music earlier in the morning is still blasting that trash music because this man's speaker is running on a Ford F-150 engine. So you already know the battery ain't gonna die because the battery's built for it, tough for real. The kids on the school bus got the driver questioning every life decision he's made up until this point. He's thinking to himself like he's an anime villain.
You freaking gremlins always talking about going on a field trip? We can definitely go on a field trip. Hey man, stop talking to yourself like a weirdo and drive us home.
See, me personally, I couldn't be a school bus driver because I don't have the patience nor mental capacity to even deal with those kids. They have no respect for the teachers already, so you know for a fact they're definitely not respecting the driver. The kids have to be at school around 7 something, and normally they're picked up around 6:30 in the morning, meaning you probably have to be there at a certain time to pick up the bus, meaning you have to be up around 5, maybe even 4 to start your day. And if you're anything like I am, then you know you're not going to sleep anytime earlier than 0100 hours or 1 a.m. for simpler terms. So you get about 4 or 5 hours of sleep, then you have to be on a funky bus that smells like a freshly opened bag of hot flaming flames with a bunch of loud, obnoxious, annoying kids. That alone is enough to make a grown man cry and lose his mind. Then on top of that, you gotta drive them back home from school. And don't let it be summertime, because that school bus turns into a toaster on wheels. Half of those windows don't roll all the way down and the other half don't roll down at all. So you got about 40 to 50 students hopped up on fruit cups and chocolate milk. And on top of that, it's 250 degrees inside the bus. And they stink. And don't even think about putting your head on the window, because it'll turn your face into a medium well piece of steak. What your barber does to your hair on Friday will make or break your day at school on Monday. Because if you get in that chair and he pushes your hairline back even in the slightest, trust me, every dude at school will notice. You go to school and someone stops you in the hallway and looks at you. Hold up. Something is different about you. The shape of your hair minus the diameter of your forehead is not reciprocal to the width of your head, plus the circumference of the quadrilateral of your octagonal facial structure. Something's off. Seems like the line where your hair starts is not perpendicular to where it usually ends.
Wait a minute.
Yo, barber pushed your back. Your barber got you looking like LeBron after he lost to the Warriors.
I know, he did me dirty. I told him just a little off the top.
Yeah, he took some off the top, all right. Off the top of your hairline. Ain't no way you paid for that, right?
Yeah, I paid him 30.
Man, I would have put that money towards a hitman, because he needs to be taken out ASAP. No Rocky. Like, you're on a slippery slope, my guy.
Yeah, you mean the predicament I'm in?
No, I mean your hairline.
Damn!
Shaun White could snowboard on that crooked hairline of yours. And what's even worse, if you just so happen to get a horrible haircut, you can't wear a hood or a hat at school. Yeah, say if you get bad grades or start slacking off in school, best believe your parents gonna be strapped with them clippers, my guy. Everyone has experienced that at home special milk dud combo bald head deluxe. I don't understand why parents thinking that ruining their child's one thing that they actually have control of makes for a suitable punishment. You already know that the kids are going to absolutely destroy their self-esteem, because there's a known fact about children that's very accurate, and it's that kids are ruthless. They have no filter. So if you give them the slightest bit of ammunition, best believe you can cook like a Sunday morning breakfast, bruh. And on top of that, you have to watch your back, because that chrome dome will be a target for everyone to cock their arm back all the way and power it up until it's loaded and reached its maximum level for kinetic energy, and they are unleashing the slap to the back of your head with the power of the almighty God himself. Your head will be in the worst pain fathomable. What's even worse is that just because one person beat the back of that Boston baked bean head of yours, it don't mean that you're safe. It's like having a bullseye painted in the back of your head. Everybody will literally be gunning to beam you in the back of that noggin. Plus, on top of that, you have no hair and it's not growing back for a good 2 weeks. So you know for a fact that the back of your head is gonna be hurting for the time being. They gonna be beating on the back of your head like bongos. Man, I remember one day I was bored and I wanted to give myself a part in my hair so bad. I wanted the line in the middle of my head, probably because I had it before. So I grabbed the clippers and I turned them on. My hands are trembling and shaking as I get closer and closer to the top of my head. And as soon as I decide that maybe it wasn't the best idea, yeah, it was way too late. I had already made the grave mistake that I knew was gonna cost me 2 weeks of pure agony. What's even worse is that the fact that I did it on a Sunday, so I had to go to school the very next day. And trust me, I was stressed. Way more stressed than a 5th grader should have been. And actually, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure I messed up the back of my hair too. So I woke up, got dressed for school, put on a beanie and grabbed my hoodie and just got ready. I honestly don't know what I expected because as soon as that bell rung for the first period, my teacher hit me with the
Maali, you know the rules. You're not allowed to have your hoodie on in school.
I was like, you know what? That's fine. I came prepared anyway. So I slid my hoodie down and kept the beanie on. I don't know why I thought I was slick because she was like, you might as well take that beanie off too.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was over. I took my hat off and put my hood halfway on my head to cover up the back, and I kept my hand on my forehead to cover up where I messed up. That might have worked for that class, but it definitely did not work for the rest of the day. One of my teachers that I had ended up sending me to the principal's office because they kept nagging me to take off my hood and I just refused to do so. They ended up calling my parents and kept asking me why I wouldn't take off my hood. I showed the principal and he had to be the most goated clutch principal ever, because if I was him and one of my students came up to my office looking the way I had looked, I would have straight busted out laughing in that kid's face, and I probably would have lost my job too. Fast forward about 8+ years later, and now I'm actually pretty good at cutting hair myself. And I ain't gonna lie, this gotta be the best cut that I've did ever. But this video ain't talking about good cuts. Okay, so we got the mohawk. I'm pretty sure everyone or almost everyone has had this haircut, and I don't know why this phase was so popular, because if you think about it, the barber literally shaved the sides of our head. Well, not mine, because I ain't have this, but he shaved the side of our heads, and if we was feeling a little jiggy with it, they would put some crazy design on both sides. Then we had the box, and I ain't talking Roddy Rich. Matter of fact, where is that man? Y'all clowned that poor man out of existence. You know, this is actually a decent haircut. I've seen a variety of boxes in my day. No pun intended. Nobody wore it better than this kid that used to go to my middle school named Kobe. Rest in peace, Kobe, man. His hair was perfectly symmetrical, always kept it fresh. Probably one of the cleanest cut boxes that I've ever seen. He wore it perfectly. And then we have the Edgar. I don't know why this is such a popular cut, because you look like one of the mothers in the church. What is that on the top of your head?
He looks like someone's abuela.
Yeah, that cut is trash. You basically got a bowl with a taper. Yeah, throw the person away. I had spoken about the most diabolical things that take place in gym on my different types of teachers video. I mean, I feel like I need to go a little bit more in depth about this treacherous class. First off, I got so many comments about people telling me, oh, my gym teacher was actually buff. My gym teacher was actually in shape. Last time I checked, I don't think I asked. Okay. If your gym teacher looks so good, man, go ahead and marry that man.
Whoa, now.
Actually, don't do that. Y'all gonna make him lose his job. No, but honestly, gym class was low-key like boot camp. You go to the locker rooms and the first thing you see is some scrawny kid with an Edgar cut spraying about 10 pounds of Axe spray all around his body. And I don't understand why y'all pick the strongest smell that Axe has in their entire collection. I swear that fragrance is so strong it makes the rock look like a bowl of fruity pebbles. Then you go ahead and snatch the can from him.
Hey, give me that bat.
Man, shut your...
You look at the can and it says pine wood, cedar wood, ocean mist, lumberjack sweat. Dude has the whole locker room smelling like Shaquille O'Neal's 2006 Miami Heat jersey.
Well, technically, Shaq won a ring in 2006, so are you trying to say that the locker room smells like success?
And best believe that same person who sprayed all that cologne before class will be spraying twice as much after. And I can guarantee you that boy did not shower either. Which I don't understand is why y'all never showered. I understand if you were in a less fortunate situation. Yeah, I get that. And this don't apply to you, but bruh, if you have a perfectly good working shower at home, use it, because that Axe spray can only cover up so much stench before y'all start smelling like a Cajun seafood boil.
Hey, who got Red Lobster up in here?
Nah, that's Jimmy over there.
Are you sure? I could have sworn I smelled the cheddar biscuits.
I'm trying to tell you, that's Jimmy.
The locker room could possibly be on par with the boys' bathroom when it comes down to how atrocious it is. Now, I got a bunch of comments in that one video. Matter of fact, make sure y'all go ahead and check that that video out. Telling me that, oh yeah, gym teachers was kind of buff. They were in shape. Man, I don't want to hear it. Hold up. Now that I think about it, all my gym teachers was actually in good shape. Not one of them looked like their blood type was high fructose corn syrup. You know what? TV and Hollywood set the most unrealistic stereotypes. Cause looking back at it, all the coaches were actually the ones that were fat, not the gym teachers.
Well, since you put it like that, are you gonna keep calling the gym teachers fat?
Man, them gym teachers were built like roly-poly, straight round belly behemoths. Mr. Crab built my SpongeBob, me boy. Face ass. Mr. Squidward. Face ass. Mother of pearl. Face.
Man, why every time you make a video, you gotta go crazy and flush them like, bruh, do the video.
Man, shut your ass up. Black screen, cause I don't know what to edit for the voice face. Always cutting me off in the middle of the video face. I'm really the same person narrating these videos, but I want to sound like a different person, so I add a voice modulator when I edit face.
Hey man, we gotta keep the video going.
Do you know who this man is?
Nah, he shouldn't even be in the production area.
Production area? Bro, we are literally the same person. It ain't no production area. I'm literally recording this in my car for decent sound quality.
Guys, can we keep the video going?
Man, I'm about to get on yo. Now, if the gym teacher actually likes this class, then you might have an easy semester. Or he might be like Jorgen Varstrangle, the toughest fairy in fairy world.
Okay.
Then you gonna be running laps until you can't breathe. And on top of that, don't miss that class on the day of the Fitness Gram Pacer Test. The 4 words that can easily ruin your day.
Fitness Gram Pacer Test is a
Kids are more afraid of those 4 little words more than some dude being threatened to be put on child support. And those words alone will literally make any man's heart drop to his pelvic bone. If you even think you're gonna try to skip the test, oh, I can promise you that man will postpone class just for you to finish it up. Just take it on the day it's assigned to you so you can save the class some heartache and get it over with. And it's always that one kid that's trying to break the world record of how many laps he can do and literally takes up the whole class trying to impress the girls like he's Usain Bolt or something. Bro, you're not getting scouted for the NFL Combine and you not going to the Olympics. Stop running so we can play dodgeball. I'm trying to throw these rubber balls at somebody's face. Man, I was so mad when they got rid of the rubber balls, pause, and added those little styrofoam balls that have no heat behind it. Are we having a tea party or are we trying to take somebody's head off? Like, come on now. See, I was decent at dodgeball, but see, here's the thing with me. I had more heat behind my throw than actual accuracy, so I might have accidentally taken out someone who wasn't even playing the game, but hey, you knew the risks. But the biggest threat was that one dude with the meanest arm and 99.999% accuracy. Best believe they were sending someone to the nurse's office for that cold sponge every time we played. And why every time something major happens to us, the first thing the nurse does is head straight to the freezer for that ice pack? I fell off the slide. Boom, ice pack. I got a splinter. Boom, ice pack. My arm fell off.
What?
Boom, ice pack. Like, can I get some actual medical attention? But 9 times out of 10, the teachers really didn't do anything anyways. All of my gym teachers literally sat on their phones or went straight to sleep. Like, what's your point of even being in here? Why don't you actually get up and do some sort of physical activity? One thing about gym though, is that you'll definitely work up a sweat because the gym teacher based your grade on the effort that you put in class. So if he saw you slacking off, you definitely retaking that class more times than SpongeBob attempted boating school. Speaking of working up a sweat, you better hope that gym class is at the end of the day, because if you have any classes afterwards, then you gonna be smelling like blue cheese for the rest of your classes. Then you really gonna need some of that Axe spray. Matter of fact, let's rewind back to 2nd, maybe even 3rd grade, and we had those little scooters. Yeah, that was peak gym class for real. Those were probably the most fun and dangerous things in gym. Like, what made them think that it would actually be a good idea to let a bunch of kids play with a platform on wheels? If you were a real OG, you were running and then hopping on the scooter to build up maximum speed. Best believe fingers were getting ran over when them scooters were out. Whether if it was your own or someone else's, then you definitely gonna need that frozen sponge. Now, if you read the title and thought to yourself, that sounds awfully familiar, it's probably because another YouTuber in the community that goes by the name Sparky Thoughts dropped a banger video with the same title. If you haven't seen that video, go watch it. It's an absolute masterpiece. Now, you're probably also wondering,
Oh man, why are you copying this man's video? You're a fraud. You're so unoriginal. You need to come up with your own stuff.
and my response is, go ahead and fall down a few flights of stairs. I'm kidding.
Just fall down one flight.
Now, there's this popular saying stating that a good artist copies and a great artist steals.
Man, come on, that doesn't justify you still.
Look, there's only one reason why I'm really copying this video. I mean, look at the numbers he did on this video.
Oh, so you just doing this for the numbers?
Duh. Think I'm doing this out of the kindness and the goodness of my heart? You think my car note is going to get paid off of hopes and dreams? Nah, in all seriousness though, I'm actually in a Discord with Sparky and a few other amazing YouTubers, so I don't think he'd mind me piggybacking off of a couple of points he made. Plus, I'm giving him credit. Go check out the man's channel. He's a great YouTuber to say in the least. Now that that's out of the way, I don't want to hear no crybabies crying in my chat, alright? So like I said, Sparky made very good valid points, but I want to interject and add a few of my own. Now, I know it won't be as well spoken as his and a lot less serious, and my voice isn't as sexy as his.
What?
Disregard that last statement, but here are some of my points. Okay, my first point is that it's okay if you reminisce about the good old days of high school, because we were in high school for about 4 years, so of course there'd be some good and bad memories that were made. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but that's in the past. That's all they are, memories. There should be no reason that the person you were in high school should be the same person you are today, because I know for a fact I'm not at all. I'm a lot more confident, I have a different viewpoint and insight on the world and the purpose of life, and also I'm a lot more sexier. Now, there's a such thing called character development. You should probably do some research and look into it. Let it go. No one cares that you bagged the most biddies in high school and had after school extracurricular activities with them, because I can guarantee you half of them are either pregnant with one or more kids, showing the whole world what the good Lord gave them on that blue and white app that rhymes with lonely pants, or even both. What did Jay-Z say? Damn, homie, in high school you was the man, homie. What the happened to you? No, seriously, that's an actual question. You went from being the most popular senior in high school to looking like a senior citizen working at McDonald's. Damn! And you not even the manager. This man is a fry cook. Now, I'm not knocking your hustle, but you should definitely be more humble. We not in school anymore, and you're not that guy, pal. There was this dude in high school who used to try to act all big and tough to show off for everybody. He used to look down on everyone, especially me. Now, this ain't your typical, oh man, he used to make fun of me in high school and I used to cower in fear. I mean, have you seen my videos? You really think this dude gonna flush me and get away with it? Nah. I definitely fire back. Rapid fire, you hear me? But he had more popularity on his name than I did. I wasn't the unpopular weird kid at school. I just wasn't super high up on the food chain. But people either knew me or knew of me. I wasn't trying my hardest to be top dog, because that's not really what I cared about. Probably why I didn't peak in high school. Anyway, fast forward a couple of years, and I was picking up food for me and my dukes, and I pulled into the drive-thru of White Castles. And guess who was standing there working the window? That's right, Mr. Big Dog himself. He went from being on the top of the food chain to being at the bottom of the restaurant chain. Now, like I said, I'm not knocking anyone working at a restaurant, because that's a bag for sure. Hey, I even worked at a fast food restaurant at one point when I was 16 for about a month, but that's a different story for a different day. But when I tell you he used to always have something to say every time I saw him in the hallways, I'm surprised me and him ain't never scrapped. Like, he was annoying. But did he have that same energy when I saw him?
Hell no!
He said what's up to me, how I've been. He even told me to stay safe. And then he put his hand out for me to shake it. Now, I had one of two choices. I can either shake his hand and be the bigger man because I've grown and matured as a person, or I could be petty and disrespect this man in the wildest way possible. I'm pretty sure you can guess what I did. I slapped his hand away, threw my milkshake at him and laughed, and then I drove away. Finally, I exacted my revenge. I finally exacted my revenge. Okay, I didn't do that at all. I actually shook his hand and drove away. I don't hold no grudges, and I don't stoop down to the level of the people that have done me wrong. That's character development. Plus, my love for milkshakes outweighed my hatred for him. And I paid way too much money wasting it trying to humiliate someone. Karma's a real thing. You definitely reap what you sow. So I have a few tips for you. Use high school as a tool not only to develop your mind, but your character. You don't have to be the most popular person in the world to enjoy high school, because all of those people that you're trying to impress or think are your friends, 9 times out of 10, won't matter after high school, because trust me, no one will care or remember. For real. Focus on yourself, your schoolwork, and pay attention to your true friends, because those are the ones that got your back through thick and thin in high school, and they might end up being your brother for life. Take, for example, Akko. See, when I met him in middle school, we didn't even like each other at first, at all. In high school, we had a few classes together and got cool because we were both class clowns, so we stayed getting sent out of class. Then we got real close after high school, and now he's probably one of the closest people to me alongside Cardi and Kami. And now we got a clan. Not the clans that be wearing the pointy white hoods, burning crosses. No, Mambu. 4 dudes that all have different strengths and weaknesses that make up for each other's personas. The type of people that you would go to war for and they do the exact same thing. Those are the people that you want in your circle. Now ladies, don't just simply rely on your looks alone to get you super far in life, because I hate to be the bearer of bad news, looks fade. Like I said, a lot of the girls that I went to high school with, trust me, time definitely caught up with them quicker than it was supposed to, and they did not age well at all. One of the baddest girls that went to my school looks totally different. Went from looking like Starfire from Teen Titans to Mrs. Puff for SpongeBob. If I was y'all, I'd just keep up with my health and appearances, because gravity definitely exists for a reason. Anything that you thought looked good in high school will definitely drop and start sinking down. Now, a lot of the people that I went to school with have let themselves go, and that's also where karma comes into play again. So many people that were on top of the social pyramid in high school have fallen, and those were the main ones who thought they were better than everybody else. And now the ones who didn't glow up until after high school look 10 times better than the jocks and the mean girls. Well, the wannabe mean girls. Do not, I repeat, do not be a thought at school. That applies to girls and boys, because that is something that will definitely stick with you after high school. And y'all also are the reason why the earth is getting too crowded now. Just stop, bruh. It's already enough of us. Man, I know a girl who had a kid in high school and had another one on the way, and she was only a sophomore. Well, she was also the school thought, so that also kind of plays a role. But I couldn't wrap my head around why kids were having kids at school, but that was none of my business. I actually take pride in the fact that I don't have kids, because not a lot of people that can say that was in the same grade as me. But that also is because I didn't peak in high school. Matter of fact, I'm still evolving. All I'm saying is focus on yourself and be yourself. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing now. I can show y'all the goofy side of me because I'm not afraid to be who I am. Don't worry about the adult stuff in school, because trust me, it'll be here faster than you think. Focus on being in the now. Have fun and be responsible and cherish the time that you have now, because once it's gone, and it ain't no turning back. School lunch. Now, depending on where you went to school at, you were either eating like a king, indulging in the most luxurious and savory food anyone has ever tasted, or you were like the majority of us, eating borderline unedible food that looks like it came straight out of a prison cafeteria. Honestly, some of the food that they were serving at school, I pray to God that they weren't serving that slop to the inmates in jail. I barely remember the food in elementary school and middle school, but I don't remember it being that bad. It's like the quality of the food that they served us started to decline from elementary school going towards high school. Meanwhile, the teachers in the teachers lounge whipping it up, eating good. I know they had to have looked at the food and thought, man, I wouldn't even give this food to my kid at home. Although the first high school I went to, they actually served decent food. They had sesame chicken and rice. When they made the burgers, they were actually cooked and not some mystery meat, so we wouldn't have to question whether or not we were putting cow meat or horse meat into our mouths.
Hey, yo!
Bruh, you know exactly what I meant. You need to get your mind out of the gutters.
Bruh, you know good and well as soon as you said that it sounded wrong the way you put it.
Bruh, I'm about to put my foot down your throat if you don't chill out.
Do it look like I got a foot fetish to you? Why you trying to put your feet in my mouth?
Hey, I'll take some feet if you're giving some out.
Shut your... Who
are you? I'm you. What are we even talking about here? Man, we getting off topic, bruh.
Hey, yo, you the one walking around talking about putting feet in people's mouths.
I'll take some. First of all, you stop talking, and you go see God. So you're not putting your foot in my mouth? Anyways, the food at my old school, it wasn't that bad. But when I moved and I had to change schools, the food quality, or well, the lack thereof, was detrimental to my health and my taste buds. You throw any food from that school on the ground, and I bet you ants wouldn't even eat that. I once threw some school food outside, and I saw a bird sniff the food, take a bite, throw up, and meet his untimely demise. Now, they held a gathering for the fallen bird, and it was a beautiful service. Rest in peace, Birdman, man.
I'm the biggest bird. I'm the biggest bird.
Yeah, and the pizza there, yeah, that wouldn't qualify as pizza anywhere. That was basically cardboard with pizza sauce and government cheese on the top. And the sloppy Joe was absolutely horrendous. Look, I don't know who this man Joe is or what he does to get the nickname Sloppy, but he needs jail time for that absurd creation. Yeah, go ahead and give him the chair. Let's not also forget that school lunch times varied from 11:20 to 11:45, so I don't know why they didn't call it breakfast instead of lunch or even brunch. I mean, who's eating lunch at 11:45 in the morning? Now, school breakfast, that was goated. See me, I rarely ate breakfast. I barely eat breakfast now. I pretty much eat my first meal of the day when the sun starts going down, but when I did eat school breakfast, it was 10 times better than school lunch, except when they had those lifeless deflated pancakes in a plastic package. And I'm pretty sure they were prepackaged. Well, of course they were prepackaged. They took these frozen prepackaged pancakes and threw them straight into the microwave. And then they gave us those small syrup packets, 1 syrup packet to be exact, to cover what, 3-4 pancakes? Nah, my boy, I'm gonna need at least a full bottle of that Aunt Jemima's Mrs. Butterworth butter flavored maple syrup to make up for that melted floppy styrofoam they call a pancake. 9 times out of 10, I was grabbing a miniature bowl of cereal, a milk, and a juice cup, and boom, that was my breakfast. And I obviously was grabbing the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I mean, come on, that gotta be arguably one of the best cereals known to man. Y'all can't name a better cereal. Go ahead, put y'all favorite cereals in the comments below. Sometimes they would have funnel cake with the powdered sugar sprinkled on top, and I swear they had to be sprinkling that rock, that booger sugar on the top of them funnel cakes, cause they was straight bussin'. But back to the school lunches, which were absolutely terrible. And then the lunch ladies would be like, make sure you grab a fruit or vegetable. Now look here, Linda, this fruit that you serving is still frozen. The fruit cup, frozen. The juice cups, frozen. And the vegetables taste like the mulch they had just put down. This 45-minute lunch period is the only time that I have to get away from people telling me what to do all day long. So don't think you're about to interrupt that break because this job is the only place you feel like you have any sort of authority in your sad, miserable, mediocre, pathetic, little worthless life.
Damn.
Joke of a life, actually.
Damn.
Are you okay, man?
Yeah, man, I just gotta keep it entertaining for the people. Make sure they continue watching. On top of the bull that I just mentioned, you got the people who gets to the lunchroom early just so they can get to their food first. Which, I guess it makes sense, but I seen a dude sprint down the hallway just to get to the lunch line. He over here acting like we eating Benihana's or Ruth Chris. I ain't never seen anyone that excited to eat jail food. I mean, I get it. If you don't get down there quick enough, you'll be spending the majority of your lunch waiting in line just to sit down and have, what, 5-10 minutes left to eat. But when you're eating the stuff that came from that cafeteria, that's all you need, because it's only one thing that was edible, and that was the lunch tray. Now, remember when we used to have the plastic trays and then they switched over to the styrofoam trays? Yeah, the only people that actually benefited from that was the lunch lady. I'm guessing they got tired of washing all those lunch trays, so they switched them out, which means that y'all would actually be doing part of your job, because serving good food obviously was not one of them. But styrofoam trays were also a terrible idea because you got a carton of milk, 50 pounds of sloppy Jose filled with mystery meat, a frozen cube of fruit cup, and whatever else they decided to throw on our tray. How is a thin tray supposed to support the weight of all that bull they put on top of it? Y'all working in school, but y'all didn't think about the possibility of, I don't know, the tray folding in the middle. Then you got the kids ripping off pieces of the tray and chewing them. And that brings me to my next point. The thing that's worse than a lunch is the people at lunch. I don't know why, but the people at lunch aren't the same people you see in the hallway, but they're the same people.
What?
Alright, hear me out and try to keep up with what I'm saying. You might see Jason in the hallway and dap him up, and then you might see Jason again at lunch, but those are two different people. Jason at lunch is a complete buffoon, along with the rest of the degenerates at lunch. I don't know why, but there were those one people at lunch, and everybody watching this video knows exactly what people I'm talking about. The people that would pour the chocolate milk into the fruit and then add the vegetables and whatever else that they had on their tray and mix and mash it together until it became the nastiest concoction, almost resembling baby food. Why did they do this? I have no idea. Like, I don't know what possessed these people to do this. They literally got the food just to waste it. I mean, I know a couple of people who took it a step further and actually consumed this diabolical menacing mixture. Why? Your guess is about as good as mine, but the people who've done this before, and you know exactly who you are, you also need jail time. But it gets even worse. See, back in middle school, we had these snack lines, which basically was a area or a table where you could get chips or candy or anything else considered as a snack. They had cookies, muffins, candy bars, the whole nine. Okay, so do y'all remember those little Crystal Light drink pouches that you could mix into the water and basically make a diet version of Kool-Aid? Well, yeah, they had those too. Now, if you were a normal human being with a brain that functions properly, you would follow the instructions on the package, empty out the contents it contained into your water and use it for its intended purposes. You would think that's all it'd be used for, but nah. Some of those kids, well, let's just put it like this. Remember the booger sugar I previously mentioned earlier in the video that they sprinkled on top of the funnel cakes? Let's just say they were doing the same thing as that, but with Crystal Light. Now, it didn't help that half of the students' brains were already smoother than the back of Michael Jordan's chrome dome. They went and did that and literally disintegrated the last 2 remaining brain cells that they had left. But they were dared like what, once or twice? Then it became a regular thing with them. And then it stopped being funny and they kept doing it anyways. Needless to say, you could tell what will lie in their foreseeable future. Actually, now that I think about it, I wonder what they're doing right now. Although you and me both could probably guess what. Then there were some people that used to snort milk up their nose, which I guess was a little safer than the Crystal Light. Still stupid, but I'd rather them doing that than, actually nah, I'd rather them not do it at all. Then you got the people begging you for $1 every day to grab something out of the snack line because their parents never gave them any money for lunch and didn't pack them a lunch either. So basically you were sending your kids to school starving. And trust me, those kids weren't just hungry for an education, which now that you think about it, it kind of makes sense why they were chewing on the styrofoam trays. Now, as the end of the school year is starting to wrap up, you start to see all the kids posted up all over social media in their drippiest fits, alongside their girl wearing a dress that's borderline close to a wedding gown. The dudes have the freshest cuts, and the ladies are smiling from ear to ear with an immaculate hairdo that'll stop a man dead in his tracks. And her makeup looks like they were done from the angels above in heaven. Senior prom is a night to remember. Man, that shit was ass though. You ever watch Bridezilla?
Nope.
Yeah, Bridezilla is a show about middle-aged women who turns into a whole 4-year-old while she's planning her wedding. She throws temper tantrums and cusses out literally everybody if everything isn't perfect to a T. Well, take off about 10 years and you have the same thing except an 18-year-old with raging hormones and mental immaturity. See, I went to 2 different proms and I'm surprised I didn't suffer from an aneurysm with how stressful it was. To make matters worse, neither of the proms I went to were actually at my high school, so when I pulled up, I didn't know not a single soul in that motherfucker. I'm literally walking in and everyone who approaches us literally only talk to the person I came with. Then they'd ask the stupid question, "Oh, is this your date?" Nah, I just got on these high waters with these sparkly ass shoes and this tight ass monkey suit just for shits and giggles.
Monkey suit?
What do you mean by that?
I will admit though, one prom was better than the other, but I literally did it twice with 2 different people, so I went through absolute hell trying to figure everything out and make sure everything was perfect. And then I had to endure the same type of torture all over again. It's like reliving that same nightmare that you seem to have every year around the same time, like the teeth nightmare. Every person has had that dream at least once where all your teeth fall out and you wake up and you feel around in your mouth to make sure they're all still there. So this first prom, it was a little bit more laid back since the place they had it at was some big country club dining hall. It was about 10 minutes away from where me and the girl lived, which was perfect because she actually lived less than 5 minutes away from me. So So I get dressed, head over to her house, we take a couple of flicks, and then we head over to the country club. So as we're waiting in line to get in, out of nowhere I hear, "Hey Maali." Well, she used my actual name, but I look up and it's my ex standing in front of me. Now I'm standing there baffled because the last time I spoke to her, she lived in Kentucky and I live in Ohio. And last time I checked, Kentucky was not Ohio. So in my mind, I'm like, what the is she doing here? And out of all times right now, so I do the little head nod and I say what's up to her. And when she turned around, my girl at the time looked at me and mocked her and was like, "Hey Maali." Bro, I tried my absolute hardest not to get weak. So when we went in, we danced a little, vibed out, we went out to eat, and then we packed it up, called it a night. But this second prom, I think I literally almost had a stroke with how stressful this woman made this dang on evening. So first off, this girl was way different. She was over the top. Everything had to be glamorized because simplicity is just simply not in this woman's vocabulary. Everyone who knows me knows you toss me some chicken wings and pass me the sticks and I'd be cool. But her, she would need the chicken prepared by God himself, served on a platter with asparagus, garnish, and jasmine rice with a side of hors d'oeuvres. Whereas me, I literally ordered my soup and it was ready the next week after the order was placed. I had everything ready, all my accessories, everything. So I was chilling. This woman, on the other hand, was absolutely going insane.
"Oh my gosh, the dress might not be ready in time. I can't find the car we're trying to rent for prom. It's not available, and all the other cars I want aren't there. My nail stylist is pregnant, and I think she's about to have a baby, so my nails won't be done. Blah, 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 blah."
And I'm like, chill. Everything is cool. It's gonna work itself out. Just breathe.
"Don't you tell me to breathe. How about you stop breathing?
I'm like, what he say me for?
You over there acting my car? I know you said you were having a panic attack. Why don't you love me anymore? Blah, 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 blah."
See, this went on for 3 weeks straight. All for everything to be fine, just like I said it was. Now, like I said, the last prom was laid back, but this one, nah. She had everyone at her house. It's like seeing those people from your side of the family that you've never met before talking about, "I haven't seen you since you was a baby." Like, lady, if you don't
Get your fucking hands off me.
stranger danger, stranger danger. So if that's how I act when I see my family, guess how I acted when I seen her friends and family. I will admit though, I was even fresher than the first prom. Yeah, your boy put that on. Trap me on my mama, on my hood. I look fly, I look good. Hey, test my sweat, wish you. So we took pictures at some random cliff that was straight out of a Disney princess movie minus the evil queen. Well, actually, nah, there was an evil queen. That was the person I went to prom, but the place that they were holding prom at was definitely far away from the house this time. So it was some type of ballroom again, and guess what? I still didn't know anybody. So I'm over here aimlessly following my date around like some lost abandoned puppy looking for his mom, looking straight El Stupido. But I had more fun this time around. The planning was definitely worth it. It was a fun, cool little night, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, now that I think about it, I remember her cousin being there, so I knew one person, but still don't make no difference. We took more pictures there and then we headed back to the Airbnb, and then we went out to this Japanese steakhouse. The sushi and fried rice was to die for. Prom was cool, but it wasn't all that. All the money and headaches I had to endure, which mainly came from the girls, which y'all need to learn how to relax. It wasn't as majestic as TV made it to be. Probably would have been better if I knew people, but you get what you pay for. Plus, I had went to homecoming years before, and it wasn't like I knew any of them either. I really should have stopped going to other people's school dances. All right, so either school just started, it's about to start, or it's already been started. And for some of y'all little it's the first year of high school, and some of y'all might be nervous, so I got a little bit of advice for y'all.
Stop it, come on.
Nah, in all serious though, you ain't really got nothing to be worried about. Y'all not gonna get shoved into a locker, get swirlied, or hung up a flagpole by your underwear. All that is fake. I knew it. But you know what will probably help your 4 years in jail? I mean, high school go by a lot quicker? Sports. Now, there are different sports and there are different people who play sports in school. So if you got about like 8 minutes or so, let's get into some of the athletes you gonna see in high school. All right, now first, you have the basketball players. Every time you see these dudes walking around school, they look like they've been standing on their feet all day. Maybe it's because they bow-legged, but they be wobbling around like some newborn horses trying to walk for the first time. I don't know, a penguin or something. but they usually got on shorts, Nike socks with the Nike slides with a hoodie or a short sleeve shirt. They always got a book bag on too. I mean, it's like they walk through all their classes with a book bag on. They even wear it at their desk and all they know is hooping. They always dribbling an imaginary basketball, practicing crossovers and hezzies like they Kyrie or something. They jump and slap the top of every doorway like they dunking a basketball. At lunch, they always head straight to the gym to put up shots. They don't even eat lunch at school, which honestly, I'm not surprised because that shit was and best believe you gonna find them skipping class to head to the gym. Teachers wondering why they taking 20 minutes to go to the bathroom. Meanwhile, they over here dunking and putting their dingleberries in somebody's face.
What?
Then you have the super short dude that plays basketball and football because he's the fastest in school and he breaking your ankles on the court and on the field. Speaking of football, that's next on the list. These dudes are usually the biggest ones in school, like gigantic. They near hit puberty at age 7 because I don't understand why you have a full beard at 14, walking around looking bigger and looking older than most of the teachers at the school. Actually, I heard one of the students on the football team got into it with the gym teacher who just so happened to also be the dean. Let's just say the dean wasn't the one who walked out unscathed. He whooped that man's ass. And then there was this one dude I went to school with and he was like 6 foot, I don't even know. He had to be at least like 6'2", 6'3" in the 7th grade. We used to arm wrestle at lunch too. Nobody can beat him. And he arm wrestled the football coach. Now, of course he didn't beat the coach, but he put up a good fight against him. I'm not gonna lie. But all that did was just give him the idea to recruit him for the team, and then next week, he was on the team. The dudes on the football team and basketball team usually have the girlfriends that are the cheerleaders. So yeah, they bagging all the hoes. So basically it's a win-win. Everybody usually knows them and everything, and most of them have decent grades only because they don't want to get kicked off the squad, so they make sure they on their P's and Q's and barely passing. Next you have the track stars. Those are the ones that are in great shape. They stay on top of their grades anyway, not just because they want to stay on a team. They're usually just academically inclined. They don't really do much, just know that they fast and they have that endurance, because you have the ones that do distance and then you have the ones who run for speed. I think the ones who run for distance is like cross country or something, but yeah, they got it in the bag because I'm not running that long. Only place you gonna see me running is to the kitchen when my Taco Bell get here, and then running straight to the bathroom when I get finished. There was this one dude that ran track and I couldn't stand him. I still don't fuck with him to this day. He had made some questionable, disrespectful posts on X-Pass, so yeah, I'm not really rocking with bro. But next we have the baseball/softball players, and I'm not gonna lie, watching baseball is like watching paint dry. It's like asking a girl what they want to eat. It takes forever. Now playing baseball is kind of more entertaining. See, I played baseball for a brief time, like brief, like briefer than Designer's career. Briefer than Antonio Brown's retirement. Like briefer than the time you was in bed with that one girlfriend. I literally played only one game, and that was the last game of the season. So every time we be at practice, we would be practicing catching. And you better hope you catch it, because if you don't, you gonna hear the worst words you could ever hear in your life.
I think I'm pregnant.
No, bruh, what are you even doing here? Gone somewhere. The 3 words were hit the heels. You drop the ball and guess what? You look at the coach and you already know what's up. Don't even say nothing, just start running. So me, as you previously heard, I wasn't the biggest fan of running, and I wasn't the best at catching.
What was you out there catching?
Bruh, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about catching baseballs.
Pause, you used to catch balls?
All right, somebody get this man up out of here. So yeah, after me running so much, I just stopped coming to practice because his favorite line was, "You gonna run till I get tired." I mean, his fat should have been the one running, because if he was, he'd be out in that hot sun, and then he'd probably stop sending us out there. Anyways, it was the last game of the season and they were short one player. They was like, Maali is still technically on the roster. I'm like, bro, what the f? I was like, I ain't got no jersey. They was like,
That's cool, we got one in the cart.
hey, shut your ass up. Then I was like, I ain't got no cleats. They was like,
That's fine, play in your shoes.
I'm like, bruh,
Are you serious right now, bro?
I ain't got no pants.
It was like, you got on shorts, right? Yeah, you straight.
Yeah, there was no way of me getting out of this one. So they had me in the outfield, and as I mentioned before, I was terrible at catching the balls.
Hey, pause, this man out here catching balls.
Hey, I thought we got this man the f up out of here. Get your ass out. But when it was my turn up to bat, I got a strike, and then the second time, I ended up hitting the ball. I ran to first base, then I stole second, and then I ran to third. See, some bullshit that happened, and I got confused, so I ended up getting out. But hey, it was a cool little experience, but I ain't stepped on a baseball field since. Anyway, usually the students who play baseball be dressing up on game day. Well, most of the athletes actually had to wear dress clothes for real, so yeah. The baseball players just had girlfriends, or they had the biddies, but they were biddies of Caucasian descent. Lastly, you have the bowlers.
What?
Nah, let me stop y'all. Lastly, we have the ones who play volleyball. Now, I've never been to a volleyball game, but I've been to a couple of volleyball practices, and I'm gonna say this right now, it's a pretty entertaining sport in the least. The volleyball uniforms, yeah, pretty cool, and if you seen someone get whacked in the face with a volleyball, yeah, even better. A lot of the girls who played volleyball were thicker than frozen peanut butter, and the shorts that they wore went crazy. They usually wore their ponytails up and they had the headbands on. Everyone was usually friends with them. They were usually dating some of the athletes in school, because if you were a nobody, yeah, don't expect to get no type of attention from them whatsoever.
She addicted me just like some Ritalin. Your girl up for grabs, I snatch it and dance. Don't know why she play like she innocent. I get to the bag, I'm thumbing through cash. You know that I'm counting up dividends. Put this shit on my back and stack up on racks. Wake up and I'll do all this shit again. I've been up for 7 days and I'm making plays. Can't let nothing take all my energy. Make sure the families they pay for some centuries. I do not beef, I just pray for my enemies. Mama look at me like what's getting into me. Diamonds they hit like a shot of that Genesis. Audrey and Mama, we look like the military. Run up on me, I got heavy artillery. Swear the clip might be as long as a centipede.